Hello. I actually just wanted to go over my political standings. Like, I don't really fucking care what anybody's political stances because mostly it's a very flawed system. Like, there's really no right answers to anything. No matter how hard you want to believe that or deny that or whatever, it's the fucking truth. Like, nobody's 100% correct on anything. It basically, when it comes to politics, it's just a battle of like gotcha moments, you know. And I've always been on the left side growing up, and I used to watch the Young Turks. That's where I got all of my political information, is just watching Jank and Anna and whoever else they had guest show on the thing. And I watched them for many many years. Now my best friend, he's actually like extremely right wing, so it's kind of funny how we would just kind of like clash all the time in disagreements. And it had some pretty good arguments. It had some debates, had some friendly jabs. It had a lot of anger, like frustration. But it also came down to the fact that I really didn't understand anything that was going on. I just kind of went along with whatever the article said, which is why I referenced that quite a bit. Whenever I see an article, I would just be like, that's the truth right there. And I never really took much time into like reading about anything. I would just repeat whatever I saw. And ever since like 2015 or 16, whenever it was that Bernie decided to join in, I feel like that's when there was this big political shift towards young people, because this old man comes in promising like all this free shit, all this stuff that we could have for free and not have to work for or aspire to get, or put a little bit of dirt on our arms to, just grab. And I liked it. I was a GM for Pizza Hut. I'm trying to remember what time this was. I was a GM for Pizza Hut when this was happening, so I had my own store. And I was like really big on Bernie. I was just like, hell yeah. And I remember I was talking to somebody about it and they called him a communist. And I was thinking like, well, what's wrong with that? And then I started thinking about it and I was like, oh, yeah, I don't really like that. I don't like that somebody could just take something of mine and say it's theirs now, or take a portion of my money that I collect. Because like taxes are already pretty bad. Like the more money you make, the more money they take. And I noticed that whenever I was a GM, because they'd be taking like $300 or $400 out of my checks. I'd be like, ah. But I was really big on Bernie for a little while, and then I don't know, I don't remember exactly when it was. I think I was watching the Young Turks, or I had a disagreement with somebody, but something happened, and I just kind of had a completely shift in ideology. And I remember I used to bash Trump all the time. I still have like these Facebook memories all the way up until like 2018, 2017 or whatever, where I would just like talk so much shit about the president. And again, it just goes back to like, like, oh, this man's a racist. He doesn't want immigrants coming into the country. I'm trying to do a redneck voice. It's funny, I lived in Texas for over 20 years and I don't have an accent. Like, that's the funniest thing to me. But like I really did not like anything I was reading about him. And I read that like he was against gay people, and I was just like, well, how could you be against gay people, And then I started thinking about it, and I was just like, well, maybe there's a reason the fucking media is always out to get his ass, because like I've never heard of this up until whenever he won, whenever he beat Hillary's ass into the dirt. Like, I never heard of a president that got this much fucking backlash. Like, I remember everybody hated Barack Obama, that was right wing, and I remember everybody in the left wing was praising him for being like this perfect gentleman, this guy who did nothing but good. And I was one of those people that did that. I did that too. I just thought, oh, he's wearing a suit, he's a educated black guy, he's got a nice family. I didn't really know anything. And then I started looking into it and I realized, like, Obama didn't really do anything for us. He kind of just gave money to other countries and basically boot kicked, or licked boots. Like, he just sucked their toes and was just like, I'm sorry, my country sucks and I'm not going to do nothing to help my country. And he didn't. And he didn't do literally anything. And it sucks because that was the first person I ever voted for. So it kind of made me feel a little stupid, I I actually didn't vote the last time because I didn't like Hillary and I didn't like Trump. And I wasn't going to do that whole, like, well, I'm going to pick the lesser of two evils thing, because everybody would be like, oh, you're just wasting your vote. And I don't believe that. I actually did support Jill Stein. I did like the Green Party back then. I don't believe that you're wasting your vote. That's a stupid ideology, because at the end of the day, you're just voting for what you think is right. It's not, you have to pick mine because that one's worse, or, you know, vice versa. Who fucking cares? Like, if I felt Harambe would make a better president, then I would vote for Harambe, but, you know, he's dead, so. But it's really funny because it was just more and more getting red-pilled over time, and I realized, like, you know, Trump's really not that bad. Like, I understand why it sounds horrible unless you understand context behind it, but, like, you know, you're not allowing transgendered people to join the military. It makes fucking sense, because when you think about it, like, their suicide rate is so fucking high. Most of them are depressed. They normally commit suicide, and that's not, you don't really need people like that in the military. So the military causes that for people, but you don't really need people going into the military like that. It's kind of a safety thing. So I get it. I understand. I don't really think Trump's really anti-LGBT at all, funny enough. Everybody says thank you, Obama, for legalizing gay marriage, but that really wasn't Obama. So, okay. Trump actually did everything he said he would do in, like, the first, I think, 100 days or something. Like, he did everything he said he was going to do, and he's continued to do it. I didn't like that he was blocking out immigrants back in the day, and then I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, if it's against the law, you shouldn't be trying to break into our country. Like, I hate to say it. I mean, I really don't, but I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be normal, like a normal person here, because I really don't care about things. But if it's your problem, it's your problem. Like, if your country's to shit, that's really on you. I don't see why that's our responsibility to help you or take care of you or shield you from that. It's like a circumstance of birth. Like, you were born there, ain't nothing I have to do with me. Like, if I'm walking in the park and somebody's getting robbed at gunpoint, I'm not going to go rush in to help. That's not my problem. I'm going to continue on and worry about my own safety. I know that sounds fucked up, but I'm not a hero. Like, I'm not pretending to be a hero. I'm not going to wear a mask and be a vigilante or whatever. I don't think that we should be catering to people who come to this country illegal, and definitely since moving back to California, I've dramatically was like, fuck everything on the left, because, like, when I first came out here, I had no job, no place to live, no medical, nothing, and I went and applied for Medi-Cal, and they asked me 6 times if I was Latino. The same woman asked me 6 times if I was Latino, and I said no. Why does this matter? And she said, oh, we just have to ask. I'm like, why do you have to ask? Why is this important information? Why do you need to get this out of me? I'm clearly fucking white. I'm Scottish. I have no Latino in me, as far as I fucking know, and I don't think we do. Like, nobody in my family has any kind of traits from, you know, Latin America or whatever, or Spain, or, you know what I mean. But I got asked that, and then I actually got denied health insurance, despite the fact that I should have qualified according to California's policies and everything. I should have just straight up got it. Now, my girlfriend, she actually got it because she was pregnant at the time, so they had to give it to her, and I kind of think if she wasn't pregnant, they wouldn't have given it to her. Like, I'm just pretty convinced of that at this point. And as I find out later on, my boss that I work for now, she is actually an illegal alien. She has since got citizenship, I believe. I might be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But she told me she had health insurance whenever she first came out here, because they just gave it to her. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, why? So when it comes down to it, like, I really don't agree with literally almost anything that happens on the left now. Especially now, the shit's gotten so crazy. Everybody's fucking brainwashed. Now, that's not to say that the right's not brainwashed either. I still make fun of right-wing people all the time, especially when we're talking about I can't say the word because that'll just take my video down, but our special disease we have going on right now, it's very comparable for me to Ebola, because a couple years ago, whenever the Ebola thing was happening, and everybody thought it was like the zombie apocalypse was going to happen, everybody's going to die because, you know, it's social media and everybody's fucking retarded and just completely lose concepts of the norm and how advanced we're supposed to be as a species. And it's really embarrassing, I'd say. I would want to think, but I don't know what embarrassment is. So it's kind of hard for me to relate with a lot of stuff. I apologize. This is me actually being sincere in my apology, because I know I can't really relate to anybody who watches me, and I know you're never going to be able to relate with me in specific things because you just don't think the way I do. But it is what it is, man. I don't know, but you know, it just kind of, for me, it's just whatever makes more sense at this point. Whether it's left wing or right wing, who's ever making the more sense is who I'm going to side with. And I don't think anything on the left is making a lot of sense. Like, we just kind of, we're okay, we're allowing people to riot and destroy our fucking country, but blame the man in the White House saying that this is his America that he caused. But nobody's making you go out and do anything. You're literally going out there robbing businesses, setting things on fire, destroying property, destroying people's livelihoods, assaulting people, raping people. There's articles of people getting raped now, holding city blocks hostage, but you're going to blame this all on Trump. Like, no, you're just taking advantage of a situation, and you got to forfeit the blame. And that's what most human beings like to do, is you never want to be responsible for your own actions. And I believe that you should. Like 100%. If you do something bad, you can't fucking blame somebody else for it. I don't believe that we should be blaming cops for everything. Like, yeah, of course there's bad cops. Like, I'm not gonna deny that. Human beings are flawed. Like, there's no such thing as a good human being. Like, I'm a shitty person, so like I can own up to that. I'm a terrible fucking human being. But at least I have the balls to admit that to myself, and, you know, let other people know I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna wear a mask. There's no illusion here. I don't agree that we should blame cops for everything, especially when it comes to like this stupid Black Lives Matter. I absolutely hate Black Lives Matter. It's the most contradicting shit I've ever seen. My thing is, if it really mattered so much, then why is nobody addressing the fact that black and black crime is like the highest cause of black death in this country? But we don't we don't want to talk about that. I don't know. The whole thing's dumb, and it's really harder and harder for me to get on Twitter because I hate how incredibly biased social media sites are, and I don't fucking care. I hate the stupid argument like, well, it's their thing, they can do whatever they want. No, fuck you. They should totally not be fucking biased. They should be anti-bias. Like, it's one thing if the users are fucking biased, like, who fucking cares? Human beings are gonna do that shit anyways. But when it comes to the website and the CEO and shit, they should not be doing shit. Like, I don't think YouTube should be supporting Joe Biden. That's fucking ridiculous. I don't think Twitter should be supporting Joe Biden. I don't think that they should support Trump either. So before you're like, well, what about if Trump did it? No, fuck you. Like, seriously, I'm an incredibly unbiased person. Like I said, I look at for whatever makes most sense. And like a lot of stuff too with like the QAnon stuff, like, I didn't want to believe that stuff whenever my mom first told me about it, because I thought this shit was so outlandish. And I'm kind of like somebody who really needs like evidence on things. And she told me about a lot of stuff. We were in a hot tub and I was drinking Fireball whiskey. And she was just telling me, we were in there for like 8 hours, and she had her tablet and she was showing me all this stuff about red shoes and everything. And I was just kind of like, what do you mean? Like, I've always hated Tom Hanks. I've always hated Ellen DeGeneres and Oprah. I always felt like there was something off about them, and she was just telling me this stuff. And funny enough, all three of these people, who are quite literally at the very top of the people I hate in Hollywood, all three of them have had some kind of scandal happen in the last year. Now, so mind you, she told me about this stuff about 3 years ago, before all of this started blowing down, about like child trafficking and everything. And I was just kind of like, really? You're telling me that this is real? And it's real. It's happening. Whether or not you want to believe it or not, that's really entirely up to you. If you call me stupid, what the fuck ever, you're stupid too. Nobody really has the right answers to this stuff. It is what it is. Now, like I've said, I've made a video about Tom Hanks. Nobody has fucking seen him since he came down with COVID. It's kind of funny. No new pictures of him. There's like, oh, Tom Hanks said this in an interview. Like, where's the interview? Where's the transcript for the conversation? There's nothing. There's fucking nothing. You don't see pictures of these people. Now, why is that? I don't know. It's kind of interesting to me. Ellen DeGeneres, she hasn't been looking good for a while before this whole backlash on her about, oh, she's a mean boss. Like, yeah, no fucking shit. She's fucking rich, man. Like, she has her own show. Of course she is. Like, you think any of these people are really nice? They're not. And that's why I call out Mr. Beast all the fucking time. He's like probably the most annoying YouTuber I know, and I always want to say like H3 and Keemstar and Jeffree Star are at the very top of being the worst, but I'm gonna probably have to say it's Mr. Beast 100%, because at least all three of these other people, they're all fucking shitheads, but everyone knows that they're shitheads, and they don't really try to hide that they're shitty fucking people. But you're never gonna convince me that Mr. Beast is a good guy. There's no way. Like, I'm pretty good at spotting, you know, fucking mean people. Like, people kind of forget that whenever you're on camera, for the most part. Like, I'm not doing that because I'm being straight up with you guys on like how I feel about things, but like whenever you're on camera, you try so hard to just pretend to be this perfect person who doesn't fight with their girlfriend, is doing so good in life, and you're just like, I'm trying to help the community. Like, nobody fucking cares. Like, Markiplier does that shit too, where he's just like, I don't like Markiplier, but he's like, I just want to change everything. Like, fuck you. Like, you people just do this shit for views. They just do this shit to get subscribers, to get a bigger fan base, so people donate money. It's just what it is at the end of the day. It's a business practice. Businesses are flawed. I don't know, man. This election, I will be supporting Donald Trump. I don't really care if that bothers you. It really shouldn't, because it's my opinion, and your opinion doesn't override my opinion, as mine shouldn't override yours. You cannot think for me. All opinions are my own, as I've stated, and I think it's in my bio now. You're not gonna persuade me. I am a critical thinker. I think about things outside of the box. If you tell me like the sky is blue, I'm going to be questioning, why is the sky blue? I'm not going to just take your word for it. I'm going to try to look into it, why this is what it is. I've always been a person who likes to ask questions. And yeah, so I don't know. Depending on who's running for 2024, I might vote Democrat. It just really depends. Like, they'd have to have their head on their shoulders, and they have to not be destroying everything. So yeah, I don't know. So anyways, thank you if you got this far. Hopefully I make sense to you, and I guess I'll see you in the next video. You guys have a good day. Goodbye.